Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Dunn, and I want to give you a brief introduction to logic today. So what I want to cover in this screencast is I want you to be able to identify negation and or if then and if and only if symbols. I want you to be able to write the negation of a symbol, and I want you to be able to convert simple and compound statements in words to symbolic form and from symbolic form to words. So first of all, let's talk about this introduction to logic and simple statements. So I have written a simple statement. I'm calling it statement P. This is how I symbolize the statement with a single letter, and it's typically a lowercase letter. So my simple statement is P, Jack Black is an actor. Another simple statement, Q, is the train was not on time. Just a quick little thought about these simple statements. These simple statements should have a truth value. They should either be true or they should be false. So they are statements that are either true or false. And clearly, Jack Black is an actor is a true statement. The train was not on time. That could be true, that could be false. Now, when we talk about negating these statements, first of all, notice that the symbol for negation is this not P. So if the statement is Jack Black is an actor, then the negation of that statement is Jack Black is not an actor. Q and not Q. The train was not on time. The negation, the train was on time. So the tilde means negation. You would say not Q. Where negation gets a little fuzzy is with statements like this. All my friends are going. None of my friends have to wear a tie. Some of my homework is done. Some of my teachers are not fair. These statements, I will show you on the next screen, are in the form all are, none are, and some are not. This diagram is helping you to understand what the negation of these statements are. The negation of all are is some are not. So let's go back to that previous screen for a minute. So if a little kid says to their parents, all my friends are going, what? Now, if that statement is false, then what's the statement that makes it true? Is the true statement none of your friends are going? Or is simply the statement that your friend is Larry and Larry is not going? Is that enough to make that statement false? And it is. So remember, the negation of all are is some are not. If the statement says that everything is happening or all of them are such and such, then just to show that one is not is enough to negate all are. Same with none are. If none are is the statement, the negation of that is to show that some are. So let's look at those statements and the negation. All of my friends are going. Some of your friends are not going is the negation of this statement. None of my friends have to wear a tie. The negation of that statement is some of your friends have to wear a tie. Some of my homework is done. The negation, none of your homework is done. Some, none. Some of my friends are not fair. Some are not. The negation is all are. All of your teachers are fair. Okay, moving on. So we've talked about negation. We have 4 other symbols that we need to talk about. Now, what I've done in this chart is that I've listed the logic statements. So these are the logic statements: negation, disjunction, conjunction, conditional, and biconditional. These are the symbols related to these logic statements. And here are the English words that you might read in a sentence that will indicate whether it's disjunction, conjunction, conditional, etc. So disjunction is this V. It's an or statement. And what I'd like you to do is think back to when we were studying set theory. Remember that the symbol in set theory for or was the U. So it sort of makes sense that in logic it's the V. Conjunction is the and statement. Remember, in set theory, that was that U turned upside down. In here, in logic theory, it's the V turned upside down. Conditional is an arrow, a one-sided arrow, if, then. And biconditional is a two-sided arrow. Let's look at examples of each of these. So here's my simple statements, P and Q. P is I was late to class. Q, the bus was on time. So for disjunction, a statement like I was late to class or the bus was on time is a simple, it's a compound statement, I'm sorry, and it is a disjunctive or a disjunction. So the symbols for that statement is P or Q. Let's look at conjunction. I was late to class and the bus was on time. P and Q. Whoops, I missed conditional. Okay, conditional is if I was late to class, then the bus was not on time. If P, then not Q. If P, then not Q. If I was late to class, then the bus was not on time. That's the conditional statement. And now the biconditional, I was late to class if and only if the bus was not on time. That's P, if and only if, not Q. Okay, now we're going to make these a little bit more complex. So consider these three statements, P, Q, and R. What we're going to do is write each of these symbolic statements in words, going back and forth from the words to symbols and now the symbols to words. So the statements are P, the water is 70 degrees, Q, the sun is shining, R, we go swimming. So look at these four statements separately, and we're going to rewrite these into words. You can stop the video and practice this on your own, but a couple of the things I'm going to point out are what you do when there's parentheses around two of the statements, and how to deal with a negation in front of the parentheses. Okay, so let's go through each of these one at a time and give it a shot. So the first one is P or Q and not R with a parenthesis around P or Q. So how that is written in words is the water is 70 degrees or the sun is shining, comma, and we do not go swimming. This comma is what groups everything in front of there together so that you know what's in front of the comma is in parentheses. Okay, see if you could figure out the next one. If the water is not 70 degrees, comma, then the sun is shining and we go swimming. The parentheses puts this statement, the comma puts those following two statements in parentheses. So be very careful with the placement of the parenthesis. So here there's only a single statement in front, and the two statements after the parenthesis are grouped together. I'm sorry, I keep saying parenthesis, but I mean comma. The two statements after the comma are grouped together in parentheses. Okay, the next one is this negation in front of a parenthesis. It is not true that if the sun is shining, then we go swimming. The negation in front of a parenthesis, the way you indicate that using words is you put it is not true that in front of the statement that is in parentheses. So it is not true that if the sun is shining, then we go swimming. All right, lastly, we have if the sun is shining, comma, then the water is 70 degrees if and only if we go swimming. Remember that comma groups everything after the comma in parentheses. Okay, I hope that helps. Good luck.